Hello everyone. I recently got a question on my YouTube channel from Cousin Dan One. Hello, I have a question for you that I'd like for you to answer. Which do you think is better, Windows or Apple Macs? Well, here's my answer for it. I personally believe that PCs are better by far because with Macs you're not really getting too much. You're spending a lot of money and you're not really getting too much. You're getting a shiny Mac OS. That's about it, and maybe a shiny system, which I'll get back to that here shortly. But anyway, thing is, Macs, you gotta spend a whole lot more money to get something you'll probably spend half as much to get out of a PC. For instance, I saw an ad for a Mac, for some model of a Mac that had a Core 2 Duo processor, which is dual core processor, had 4 gigs of RAM. I don't know how much hard drive space, but anyway, it was well over $1,000 for the computer. And the Computer Mid-Tower Lux has 4 gigs of RAM, and it's dual core processor. Has Windows Vista Home Premium on it, and I'd say that's about $600 for the build and the operating system total, not including the monitor or anything. But anyway, let's see, $600 versus probably $1,200 for the Mac. And for you guys who are wanting a shiny computer and y'all out spending junk loads of money on a Mac, just to know, you can custom build a PC and it looks so much better than a Mac. And the thing what makes PCs look so like junk and everything is, of course, OEM companies making these little gray dull little boxes that sit next to your desk, just take up space, look ugly, and they're pieces of crap. And for instance, eMachines from 2002 to 2006, they had so many failures. They used the Bestech ATX 250 power supplies, which was, let's see, the ATX 250 12E Rev P7 series, and those had a lot of problems. They blew a lot of primary rails a lot, and sometimes they would blow the 5-volt standby rail transformer. Well, not the transformer itself, but they blow a circuit, blowing up capacitors, all sorts of stuff, frying the computer. And it would fry the motherboards. And a lot of eMachines used certain motherboards that had a high failure rate, like the Tri-Gem Imperial board, which here in shortly I will show you a whole wall of dead motherboards out of eMachines. And anyway, when you get PCs like that, which my friend Andy mentioned to me today, he said those they should call those disposable computers, because you buy them and they last for about 2 or 3 years and die, which that makes PCs look really bad. And Macs, they had their times too, where they had faulty capacitors. But anyway, put it this way: you custom build a PC, it'll beat every Mac on the block, especially if you rig up a high-end AMD Phenom 2 system or an Intel Core i7. It'll blow a Mac away. And if you're worried about looks, for instance, this is a standard mid-tower case for a custom build. Yeah, pretty standard compared to what some of them look like. Typical custom built case that looks good has the window on the side, you can see everything, cold cathode lights, nice shiny fans, cool looking power supply, cool looking motherboard, big old heat pipe cooler, bubble lights on the front. Have you ever seen a Mac that had that before? This is considered a PC, not a Mac. And here's the eMachine motherboard wall of shame. Every one of these motherboards, from that red board over there right, including this one up here, it's a Gateway board, but it was from 2006, which, eMachines and Gateway are pretty much in the same division at that time. All these motherboards have something wrong with them. They either don't work or have blown capacitors. Well, actually, none of them work. This is a Tri-Gem Imperial board. Back capacitors. Let's see. ECS L7V MM2. Those were in a lot of 2002 E machines. Back capacitor on it somewhere. And a lot of these boards, they just don't work. They just die. And some of them are killed by the Bestech ATX 250 power supply, but yet some of them just die by themselves without having help from the power supply. Like this red MSI board. That board was pulled out of a Media Center PC e-machine system that was manufactured in 2005. 4 years ago. Died about a year ago. So you're getting about maybe 2.5, 3 years out of your computer and then it just dies. Which, you see what I mean about OEM companies. Like HP, there's some bad HP boards over there too that were pulled from those brown boards were pulled out of systems manufactured in 2004 to 2005. Which, see, custom build systems, you can get good, reliable parts, and you have your stable system that ain't gonna die on you. But anyway, PCs are so much better than Macs, and there's no doubt about it. What other reason why would Mac have such a small amount on the market right now? It's not just Microsoft that's all about the money, getting money out of Windows, $100 a copy. You've also got operating systems like Linux, BOS, all sorts of different operating systems that you can run on a PC, but not a Mac. There's Boot Camp, but who needs that crap when you got PCs? Seriously. And I've built computers for probably 4 years now, and I've always loved to work with computers. I've never worked with a Mac, but I've seen how a Mac is, all shiny and everything in the operating system, but seriously, why try to navigate that when you're used to Windows or Linux? Because, Windows and Linux work pretty similar. Like Ubuntu works pretty similar, and Vector works really similar, looks really similar to Windows. But, and for gamers, you're better off with a Windows PC than you are a Mac. You have less problems with a PC. More compatibility, more power, more stability. There's so many performance options for PCs you can't get with a Mac. In my personal way of thinking, you can't custom build a Mac. You can custom build a PC though. That makes PCs better right there. And if you guys had any more questions, just comment to my channel and I'll try my best to answer them.